from Virginia and Vice Chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Mark Warner. Senator, really good to have you. Thank you for joining us. I want to start with Iran. The New York Times is reporting that the deal that is on the table on the U.S. side is a phased deal. It starts with ending the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz and then deals with the missile threats, the nuclear threats, and the proxy threats from Iran later on. Is that a good way to approach this?
Well, I don't think any of the president's objectives when he started this war of choice are going to be met in terms of regime change, getting the enriched uranium, cutting back on ballistic missiles. And remember, before this war, the idea that some country would extract a toll through the Strait of Hormuz was not even discussed. So I think the war needs to come to an end. And I think Donald Trump will even be pressed with all his bluster to find a way to claim victory. But however we can end this, I don't know how we come out in a better situation than we were before this war started. So if he claims it'll be in phases, so be it. Let's see the details. But I'm not sure why he keeps adding more pressure. The idea that somehow all of the Arab states in the region, the Saudis, the Qataris, and others, are going to join the Abraham Accords. Saudi Arabia's already rejected that today. It feels like he's building the hurdles even higher for him to, even in Trump speak, be able to claim any kind of victory out of this misguided choice.
Do you think it's a good idea to take whatever deal is on the table right now? I mean, is it better to leave with Iran having leverage over the strait and the ability to rebuild their missile capacity? There's reporting and cited U.S. intelligence that said much of the capacity from the missiles is still intact, just needs to be dug out of the rubble. And the uranium, the enriched uranium, is still also able to be dug out of the rubble. Is it a good idea to leave now with all of that still available to the Iranians?
Well, it was never a good idea to start this war of choice back in February. Now it becomes a question of what is the least bad option. The idea that the American military, as good as it is going to be able to bomb Iran into subjugation, I think we found is not true. Or if we were to go after all of the economic infrastructure in a dramatic way, clearly all the Gulf allies, Iran still has enough capacity to wreck the infrastructure of our Gulf allies. And unfortunately, hit Israel as well, because we've used so many of our interceptors. So if bombing isn't going to get us there, if the only way we're going to accomplish the president's goals is to put thousands of American troops on the ground for a never-ending war in the Middle East, then it comes down to what is the least bad option. And the least bad option may be trying to get us back to some status quo of where we were before we started the war. But unfortunately, with an overhang on the Strait of Hormuz that frankly didn't exist before this war started.
There are questions about the intelligence that Donald Trump gets and whether it is helping him make smart decisions. The DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, is on her way out. She resigned, citing health problems with her husband. Do you know who's giving Donald Trump intelligence right now? The DNI is supposed to coordinate it and deliver it to the president. Was Tulsi Gabbard doing it? Is somebody else doing it? What's your eyesight on this?
Ms. Gabbard and I had a lot of differences. I wish her well with her husband. But we need now to have a DNI that's willing to speak truth to power, that doesn't politicize our information. When you intimidate the intelligence community to try to receive answers that the policymakers want rather than their straight truth, then you undermine the value of the intelligence community. And I do think Ms. Gabbard did that oftentimes. And we've seen uniformed military leaders of the NSA and the DIA and other agencies fired simply for some claim of not political loyalty. That is very dangerous. But I cannot imagine with the clarity of some of the intelligence, for example, about the number of Iranian missiles that remain, or the fact that the Iranians, of course, would strike our Gulf allies, or of course, strike and take over and shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which, by the way, you don't need a navy. You just need hundreds of these little speedboats. I mean, all of this has been reported repeatedly in the open press. So I can't believe the intel community is not sharing that with the president. And even if not, it is widely reported in the open source press. So he's got to be getting this information.
Do you trust the CIA director, John Ratcliffe, to do the job?
Listen, I have found Ratcliffe a better partner than many of the other Trump appointees. He wouldn't have been my choice, but he is a better partner than many of the others. And I find that the CIA, I think, is still, for the most part, able to do its job without the kind of interference that we've seen in some of the other IC agencies.
Let me ask you about Trump Mobile. You want more answers about Donald Trump's mobile phone. It just got released to some people. This is supposed to be made in America, be this gold phone. You know, forget Samsung, forget AT&T. Go for this phone. What are your questions about it?
Well, Katie, first of all, I was in the cell phone business. I was the co-founder of a company named Nextel that was a major provider in the 80s. So this is something I actually know a little bit about. The idea that, following in the mode of the Trump Bible and Trump shoes and Trump whatever, the idea that they branded a phone, said it was going to be made entirely in America, took, I think, deposits of $50 or $100 from close to 500,000 constituents around the country to get a pre-order. It's a scam. It's a scam. There's no phone made from scratch in America like this. It's had to be put together with components from Asia. It may be put together in America, but that's not American made. The price that has been offered and the plan that's been offered, the open market, offers cheaper prices with better plans. Other than getting the Trump brand on this, I think Americans have been hoodwinked. But this is an administration, whether it is the Trump Mobile, whether it is the $1 billion for the ballroom, the $1.8 billion of taxpayer money for the slush fund. I've never seen an administration where both the president and his closest allies are enriching themselves as much. And yes, I have written the so-called Trump phone CEO to try to get answers on what I think are completely erroneous claims, and anybody in the cell phone industry will say the same.
Senator, it's really good to have you. And I just want to say, because it's the first time I've had you in a little while, we're so sorry for your loss, and our condolences go out to you and your family over your daughter, Madison. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.